Virtual Racing School was developed to provide support to the next generation of sim racers. No matter if you're a rookie or veteran or what car or track you'll be racing, our goal is to provide training every step of the way. We found that iRacing can be quite difficult without proper training. There needed to be a way to prepare for on-track racing. With VRS, you can literally learn from the best sim racers in the world, including 4-time NASCAR iRacing World Champion Ray Alfalla.
And Ray Alfalla is a 4-time champion of the NASCAR Peak Antifreeze iRacing Series.
3-time iRacing Grand Prix World Champion Martin Kroenke.
Martin Kroenke becomes a 3-time world champion.
Rallycross World Champion Mitchell de Jong.
Mitchell de Jong is now champion for the iRacing Rallycross World Championship Series.
And many other top sim racers. Data packs include everything you need to start learning. Our World Championship coaches create the data packs by setting a hot lap or a series of fast laps for you to compare, analyze, and replicate. Data packs also include a tutorial where the coach points out techniques they use to hit the fast lap. This gives you access to the latest driving techniques and setups before you even hit the track. Sign up for a free account and download the VRS telemetry logger. With this application running seamlessly in the background, your laps automatically start syncing to the VRS website. From there, you can analyze and compare 2 laps of your choice, whether it's your data, the coaches, or your teammates. VRS will automatically target improvement opportunities so you can get up to speed even faster. VRS also makes it easy for you to request and schedule one-on-one or group coaching sessions. These sessions can range from 30 to 90 minutes, and you can select the car, track, and setup combination of your choice. Visit virtualracingschool.com today to sign up and get started.
Howdy, 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 everyone, and welcome to the Apex Racing League Mazda Cup here at WeatherTech Raceway Laguna Seca for the final round of the Mazda Cup. I am here joined by Andy Thompson and DJ Clark, and you're here live, listening to Apex Racing Radio TV.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the last round here at the iconic Laguna Seca. 9th round in this championship. I mean, what a championship it's been. I'm not sure if you've been keeping the tabs on it, DJ, but it's been an epic season that we've had here. The pros seem to be sort of wrapped up as such, and Roberto Ferrari has sort of commanded the field from pretty much the first round to the last round, and even if he doesn't score here tonight, his drop score is so strong that he has obviously run the championship. It's going to be hard for second and third to move up or anywhere up in the top 5 of the pro standings. In the amateur standings, it's a different matter completely. Lewandowski, who leads the championship at the moment, has a 36-point gap over second place at the moment. The battle is with second is 11 points from second, third and fourth in the championship, so that's very much a hotly contested one here tonight. But what an iconic track. And DJ, what's your experiences on this track, mate?
Well, truth be told, I was actually out at this track over the weekend up in Monterey. I have been here live, and it is one of the best places to watch and drive a race in North America. And it's really and truly also a driver's track, as it's so very difficult to get a pass done really anywhere around here. So it's all about minimizing those mistakes, maximizing your speed, and watching out for the dust that just gathers out around Laguna Seca.
Yeah, the dust and everything around here is going to be absolutely a big playing point later on in the race and throughout the day, because it's just going to keep building up. And, you know, it's even building up in practice as a few cars go a little bit wide in the final corners. It's going to drag some more dust around here. I've had that experience in real life when driving around here, multiple cars, including these Mazdas. So, you know, it can get pretty crazy around here, Andy.
Yeah, definitely, and obviously we bring you live stream pictures now, so we are back to TV, not radio comms, and as we see, we're 5 minutes, nearly 6 minutes into this qualifying session, and his usual place at the front of Roberto Ferrari leads the field at the moment. Musumeci not that far behind him, as we see there on the timing tower. Germantis in third, Hayden fourth, and your top amateur at the moment, who seems to have been on a real charge in these last 4 rounds, is Goosens, sat down there in 7th place at top of the AMs. So interesting going to be tonight. 3 rounds as always, 15-minute races. First race is decided by the qualifying positions that we're currently watching them, 10 minutes. The second race has an inverted grid from the positions of the first race, and that is 12 positions for race number 2. Race number 3, another 15 minutes, and that's inverted by race number 2, but only by 8 positions. So it's going to be really vital, that race number 2 and this first race, to get decent positions on the grid to maximize your points in this last round of the season.
Yeah, last round of the season, and also, you know, it's the last round to really show yourself out there. And I see a few of the times right now. The bottom time, Jay Walsh, and you know, that 155, I believe that was his outlap, because there it goes, fix itself right there. You know, we had Fowler down there, and I was really concerned about that, but then I realized the start line is actually at the pit exit, so everyone's outlap does get counted. But, you know, very late time to get onto the track right there, but, you know, 3 minutes left in qualifying right now. And yeah, that amateur fight, Lewandowski down there in 13th overall, Fowler up there in 7th, and I believe Fowler and Lewandowski and Serrano and Lewandowski are like the 3 main protagonists for that amateur championship.
You got McMullen there. I don't know if we can quickly throw up the AM ones just before we get to the final couple of stages there, Samuni, just to see the AM standings, so you can sort of see them there, you know, between Damien McMullen, Serrano and Fowler, all really close, 11 points in it, so anybody could take that second place. Lewandowski maybe a little bit out of sight, 37 points, but all it'll take is one bad round for him to put him down the field, and the championship's wide open for sort of the amateur championship there. So really hotly contested after 8 rounds already completed going into the 9th. It's always nice to see a championship coming down to the last round and not just a parade lap. I don't know if DJ, you've been watching these series, but just expect Austin to laugh a lot and to see some absolutely outrageous moves maybe on some of them, but overall a good job.
That much.
A little bit, mate. It's not super.
Only at ridiculous things. To be fair, we did see a lot of ridiculousness coming out of Hockenheimring race 2, where the entire pro field basically finished behind the amateur field. And what was probably the weirdest race we've ever seen on Apex Racing League.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, it's an iconic track. It's one that you always start off with in this car. I mean, what's your experience driving around on iRacing, DJ?
It's pretty extensive. This was definitely one of the tracks that I cut my teeth on around here and spent a lot of time in the Mazda, as you can imagine, getting around here. And, you know, it's one of those tracks that you get into a good rhythm around it, and it's super, super easy, and you get the nice flow to it, but you get yourself thrown off a little bit, and you can be in a whole world of trouble.
You certainly can. You certainly can. My experience around Mazda, well, back when it was called Mazda Raceway Laguna Seca, now it's WeatherTech Raceway Laguna Seca. It's the same thing, but this is where now most of everyone that I know have gotten their first Mazda victory, their first victory on iRacing here on this track. This is where my first iRacing victory came. Not in real life. When I raced here, I finished 10th. So it was all right, but you know, the iRacing accolade, this track holds a special place in my heart. Qualifying is now over. Roberto Ferrari once again on the front row and starting up on pole. Teammate Musumeci right behind him by a 100th of a second. Followed by Yamantis, Hayden, Moon, Stan Skinner, Thomas Sorensen, Russ Fowler takes pole for the AMs. They're followed by Jens Goossens, Nathan Healy, Simon Serranio, and Damon McMullen in 12th place. Victor Lewandowski, amateur championship leader, starting down in 13th with Jay Walsh right beside Pan Hyraid in 15th, followed by Andrew Brahma, Ivan Pinocchio, Pavel Simonek, Steve Cox, and yes, Frederick will be starting from the pit lane. 5 cars starting from that tricky pit lane. You know, you actually have to brake there. So, you know, they're going to have to be pretty careful exiting the pits right now. 21 cars are lined up and ready to go. Some of them have quality bands, some of them have pit lane starts. Andy, am I right?
That's correct. All the ones that haven't set a time are starting in the pit. Pinocchio, Simonek, so 2 of the faster pros, so I expect them to come through the field, and Tony Pierman has a pit lane start. So they're the 3 that have the official pit lane starts. The rest probably.
So Cox and Frederick are starting with a little bit of space to Pan and everyone else.
Yeah, just wait for the timer to run out, and then it's going to be over to Austin for that crazy turn number 2, the Andretti hairpin. So let's hope all the cars make it safely around that, which can always be a hotbed of action, certainly on this first lap with cold tyres. So it's going to be interesting to see how they navigate around that. Hopefully all nice and cleanly, and we have a full 21 grid fight on our hands for the rest of the 15 minutes.
Yes, we do. We have 3 races scheduled for the finale right now. It's time to rev them up and let them go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 red lights, and it's green, green, green here at Laguna Seca for the final round of the Apex Racing League Mazda Cup. It's a great start by Ferrari. Musumeci gets right behind him with Humantis getting right behind them, as well as a side-by-side fight between Moons and Hayden right now. Heading into the Andretti hairpin. It's a little big of a move down in the backfield. That's Goossens getting a little bit loose right there. He actually got touched from behind, but Jens Goossens switching over onto the inside now. Goossens is on Sorensen. Goossens looking onto the inside of Skinner. Yes, Goossens is a man on a mission right now.
Yeah, definitely. Sorensen had a pretty terrible start there. Obviously getting picked pocket from Jens Goossens. Had a blind of a start up 2 places from the start. But they all make it around the first couple of corners here, coming into turn number 4, which is a very fast left-hander, but obviously side-by-side is not always advisable because the cars will push out to the right-hand side. So if we do see plenty of car side-by-side action there, then I'm pretty sure that we might end up seeing a slight accident. But the front three slightly getting away from Hayden there in 4th place. So these front three trying to split field.
Heading into the corkscrew, and Goosens goes out a little bit wide. Missed that braking point, tried to defend from Sorensen, but Sorensen swung it around the outside right there. Goosens misses braking point, falls back down to 8th place, and we're back to pretty much the pros ahead of the AMs right now. Biggest mover of the race is Steve Cox and yes, Frederick, who started on the back of the grid, up 5 and 4 spots respectively, side by side right here. David McMullen and Nathan Healy all behind of Simon Serrano heading into the final corner.
Yeah, indeed, and that final corner is one of the areas you can get a good overtake done here, but there it looks like McMullen wants that spot back. He lost 2 in the final corner, the 299, trying to maybe go around the outside of the Andretti hairpin. Thinks a little bit better of it. I don't think he quite had the draft.
Yeah, didn't have the run as somebody missed that corner. It was Panhydrate going out a little bit wide, heading into the Andretti hairpin. Pan loves this track, Pan loves this car, and they've been slowly improving their pace throughout the season. And, you know, it's nice to see them still in there after a lot of medical stuff, and it's great to see them back in the car.
Yeah, definitely. It's good to see the last round of this season as well, having still 21 drivers coming out for the last round here around Laguna Seca. WeatherTech Laguna Seca. I don't know where we got Mazda from. Obviously, that was another name.
Mazda Raceway Laguna Seca was the original name.
Right, there we go. As we see Paolo Simonek, who started from that pit lane, managing to get a pass move there done up into P18 team. So I'm pretty sure that these two, Simonek and Potio, are going to have some big battles through them. But yeah, so where was that? That was
coming out of the kink, heading up the hill into the corkscrew. Very easy to miss that corner and go out a little bit wide. And I heard it in my ear of the gravel getting kicked up by Frederick's car. And, well, they're back down to 17th.
It looks like the front two have actually started to pull away from Germantis, if I'm seeing that right. There's a second, get about 0.6 of a second now between Musumeci and Germantis there. Nope, the time tower is slightly wrong. Okay. So still these three are starting to pull away about a second now ahead of Paul Hayden in 4th place. So just trying to work together these three to get away, which is something we normally see in this Mazda Cup, is the front 3 or 4 just manage to get away from the rest of the field. And I suppose if you lose that slipstream from the car behind, then the gaps do start appearing with these cars, very heavily bias on the slipstreaming effect around these tracks.
Oh, yes, they do. As Skinner and Sorensen go way off track, trying to keep up with the group ahead. They don't want to lose that draft. And actually, Dan Skinner has got some damage on the left-hand side of his car. The front left of his car is a little bit dent in there. What are you seeing there, DJ?
Yeah, I'm looking at it right now, and there is a little bit of a dent to it that shouldn't affect him too much. It doesn't look like a big enough of damage to actually cause any problems to the suspension to that 173. So I think he'll be okay around here. It'll just look a little deformed and a little bit less than perfect on our cameras.
Yeah, it does have that very nice paint scheme on that car, but, you know, something had to cause that dent. I want to know who he made contact with earlier on in this race, because, you know, it takes 2 cars to really bang up one car. It also takes some walls sometimes, but if you hit a wall on your own around here, you've done something completely wrong. But, you know, his car's still going on, so it might have been some little rub in action. I'm just not sure who he hit.
Yeah, I don't think the damage, certainly around this track, is not going to be too bad on the aero side, because there's no real massive long straights apart from that start-finish straight. As we see Musumeci making a move there on Ferrari. Maybe this is a little bit of team orders just to make sure that Musumeci can stay in that 2nd place. So I wonder if that is a bit of team orders, Ferrari giving Musumeci the place. We haven't seen it that often this year with these two out front, with Ferrari trying to take the wins, but maybe he knows now that he doesn't need to push. He's won the championship, so maybe helping his teammate out by giving him the first place and all the maximum points.
Yeah, as we see Lewandowski sneaking down to the inside of the 299, and Damian McMullen down to the inside of Lewandowski right there, trying to keep the AM leader at bay. And oh, here's Steve Cox giving Lewandowski a little bit of trouble. As Lewandowski really needs that 37-point advantage, and he really needs to keep it. But if he finishes behind Fowler and Serrano behind him, well, ahead of him, if he keeps finishing like this, that 37-point advantage will be down to nearly about, well, if it stays like this, I think it will be pretty much tied at the front.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, also you got to bear in mind that reverse grid pole for race number 2 is P12, and at the moment, obviously being McMullen at the moment, and if Lewandowski is below that, then all his protagonists that he's fighting the championship, McMullen, Serrano, Fowler, will all be in front of him by quite a fair distance. So that 37 points, although it seems like a big gap, is going to be could erode quite quickly if he gets right down the back of the field.
Oh, that's tight.
That is very tight indeed, and it looks like that final corner is the preferred overtaking zone, but there, the 123 of Semanchik trying to get something doing, tucking up behind the draft of the 189. Is there going to be any fight back from Frederick? He's going to think about it, but no. Good speed there on corner entry, though, for the 123. Definitely some more to come from that car, I think.
Yeah, it's the two pros who started from the pit lane after their penalty, and they're slowly moving up through the field. As Tony Pierman has gone into the pit lane, I think I know who might have made... Actually, I don't know if Tony Pierman would have been able to make that contact right there, but Pierman, reinstated back into the lead after serving a race penalty. It's back in the car, but, he's gone into the pits, and what has happened to his car?
Oh, it's a bit of a strange one. Looking at the thing, I don't see any incidents.
Well, Samuli's found the incident right here. Too wide, final corner, boom!
Yeah, seeing a bit of action with the wall there, and damaging his car and deciding to go back to the pits. Luckily, right alongside the pits, so the tow wouldn't have been that extensive. But that battle for the amateur at the moment, Fowler on a big charge here, just taking Goosens on the last corner.
Bad exit,
and Fowler now, yeah, but Fowler's at the top of the amateur championship, and good for him. He's got a decent car distance between himself and Lewandowski, who's obviously leading that amateur championship. We see Goosens fighting back, and this is what we've come to see in the last couple of rounds from Goosens. He doesn't let up and will fight for every position, and 9 times out of 10 he comes out on top on the amateur championship.
Yeah, Fowler's been very consistent, and Jens Goosens, both of these drivers been Jens slowly making up the spots and really improved his driving from the start of the season to this part of the season. And now, as we were saying, his lap times were just on the pace of pros in qualifying. And it's very cool to see him up there and, late charge up the points by him in that Xena Motorsports 269 car. But Russ Fowler, he really needs to get past him and increase that gap to Lewandowski in 13th place. But, you have 3 races to make up all those spots and put in that dent, so you don't have to do it all immediately.
No, you really don't, and especially at a place like Laguna Seca, where pushing a little bit harder over the limit is often going to find you out and into the wall or into the gravel. I think the best strategy here from Fowler is to just play it safe. I noticed coming up through turn 5 on that last lap, Goosens ran a little bit hard into the gravel, so I think he is pushing. He's got some good times, but he may be just on that limit, and for Fowler, he just wants to keep in touch with that car and make sure that if there is a mistake, he's ready to capitalize.
We know Fowler, though, he's always the driver that gets that red mist in him and wants to get that extra position, to get that amateur win within the race. So I know that Fowler will be pushing it right to the limits. Only 5 minutes left of this first round here, as we have a quick rundown of the grid. So we've got Musumeci still out front with Ferrari, Jamantis in 3rd, Paul Hayden, followed by Skinner, Moons in 6th place, Serena in 7th, Goosens, the top of your arm is the battle we're watching on screen at the moment in P8, Fowler in 9th, and Serrano in P10th. We've got McMullen in 11th. So all the top of the amateur championship standings at the moment are in 9th, 10th, 11th, and Lewandowski the leader in 13th. So Lewandowski will be losing points over there, but Fowler will be gaining more points on Serrano and McMullen, so trying to capitalise that second place.
Yeah, as we ride on board, Roberto Ferrari behind his teammate right here. They pulled out that gap to Yamantis up to 7/10 now. As, you know, they're starting to put in a little bit of pressure right here, but, you know, the teammate drive 1-2 right now. Musumeci believed he was faster than Ferrari, and Ferrari did go wide, and I think they're starting to see that Musumeci does have the advantage right here, so they're just now just having that tandem, but, you know, it's a 4-car tandem. Hayden is also back there. Then it's Skinner a few seconds back, but the top 4, Musumeci, Ferrari, Yamantis, and Hayden, are 4 top drivers right now, but it's really Musumeci and Ferrari at the head of this train.
Yeah, it certainly is, and they're looking like they're playing a little bit of team tactics there, although it looked like Ferrari had more speed. Not surprising, given his pace this year. Looked like he had to check up just slightly going into the Andretti hairpin.
Definitely only 3 minutes left.
Lewandowski and Nathan Healy are in a crash on the front straight. Healy's backwards. Lewandowski going slow. Lewandowski falls down to 15th. This is huge championship implications.
We've seen this in the last couple of rounds. Lewandowski had a really strong lead. And we see what happened here coming out in the last corner.
Well, he goes onto the inside of Healy. Did Healy just not leave room?
Yeah.
Oh, Nathan, no. As Fernando Alonso always says, you gotta leave the space. All the time, you have to leave the space. He was alongside of you, and he just squeezed him into the wall. And, you know, Victor would be protesting that one heavily after this race.
I mean, he seems to have had such bad luck in the past couple of rounds. He did have a really strong lead in the Amateur Championship, but the last, say, 3 rounds, I believe, is he's been in a few incidents that's seen him in the position he is at the moment. I mean, he's in P15 out of the reverse grid, and his main rivals in the championship are all going to be at the front of the grid in race number 2, so it's going to be a hard day again at the office for Victor in this final round, you know, and they'll be sweating it all the way back, all the way down to that final round. But that 37 points will soon get eroded, but that is a sizable lead that obviously Fowler at the moment has to try to overcome, but doing the best he can in P9, so there's a decent gap between the 2 drivers at the moment, which will be valuable points in the championship.
Yeah, Nathan Healy, not one to really give up a spot. We saw this in Imola get a little bit aggressive, and, you know, I know how I said that's definitely a protest after this race, but it's the end of the season, so really a protest won't do anything unless it's a, you know, next season ban. What are the details on that, Andy?
Yeah, so basically you have different levels of penalties within the end. If you get a level 2 on this last race, obviously you can't have a race ban or a qualifying ban because it's the last race. So what you get is a 20-point deduction in your championship standings if it's proved to be a level 2 or above. So the implications could be huge in this last round if you do get that penalty against you. So every 2 points you have at the end, that's 20 points. Or if you have 4 penalty points left, that's 40 points off your overall championship standing. So could have big implications to the overall.
Well, this is rough. Pinocchio, and there's going to go 3 wide, pushing Seacox all the way out to the gravel. Pinocchio and Simnek side by side, 3 wide heading into the corkscrew, and Pinocchio with that little switchback diving down to the inside. Now it's Simnek onto the inside right there. Pinocchio and Simnek charging through the Ames field like 2 bulls chasing after a bunch. Like just 2 bulls chasing after the same red target.
Yeah, but that was an optimistic move there from Simonek. Obviously, Pinocchio was fighting very hard with Cox, and Simonek just nipped up the inside of the 2 of them and took the 2 positions in one corner. So a great move there from Simonek. Classic, isn't it, DJ?
Oh, it certainly is. And we've got another little battle shaping up there. Moon's trying to dive to the inside, but that is Sorensen trying to go back for the over-under through the Andretti hairpin, but that's Moon's off into the gravel.
Moves off into the gravel, and everyone's got the elbows out right now. It's a white flag here at Laguna Seca. Last lap, Musumeci and Ferrari still in the lead. Mantis getting out a little bit off track. They triggered our off-track red light warning. on our timing tower, but this fight here for 5th place really heated. Sorensen and Moons. Moons, after that little off-track excursion right there, stayed in 6th place, and that's allowed Skinner to move ahead. But Moons and Sorensen, they're fighting over that spot, and hey, here comes another great opportunity. A big run-up heading into the corkscrew. Moons goes off the track once more. Here comes Sorensen.
That was absolutely on the limit there of ability of these Mazda cars coming around that corner. Fast left-hand corner that you can take quite wide in these cars because it is very forgiving, but this battle going right down to the wire as we watch back to the front with Musumeci there. Gimantis has managed to catch up onto the back of Ferrari, but it's clearly going to run out of time here as they come around the last corner. So Musumeci in the lead, Ferrari in 2nd, and Gimantis in 3rd place. Are they going to do a Le Mans style? No, Musumeci doing a bit of sneaking before the line.
They could have done it. They seriously could have done it. I thought Gimantis was going to really send one down there as the 176 runs out of Hayden. Paul Hayden just ran out of what?
Can't run out of fuel.
I don't know why, but he just slowed up before the start-finish line, and Hayden takes 5th, and Skinner finishes 4th. Wait, is that teammate tactics right there?
I think so, but yeah.
But they're not teammates.
I don't know. Very strange. But obviously, Goosens and Fowler was 100th of a second between them two, so that went right down to the wire there. The winner for that amateur championship. So pole position, but will be Simonek managing to fight back from the pits all the way up to the reverse grid pole for race number 2.
Yeah, race number 2, the pole is set with our finishing order. We're still waiting on a few drivers to, I believe, come across the line. Yeah, there we go. There goes Frederick right there. But, oh, my goodness. Race 1, we saw a lot of action up there. Musumeci and Ferrari take the 1-2 teammate victory. Gimantis finishes in 3rd, followed by Dan Skinner and Paul Hayden. The two, they are teammates. So teammate tactics right there. Skinner getting some more points after Paul led him by. Great teammate work. Followed by Moons and Swords, and Jens Goosens took the AM victory with Russ Fowler and Simon Serrano in 9th and 10th. They're followed by McMullen, Simonek, Pinocchio, Steve Cox, Lewandowski down in 15th. And that's some more points off of that 36-point lead. They're followed by Nathan Healy back there. Tony Pierman will be starting from the pits once more, so 20 seconds until we get ready to rock and roll again for round 2.
Yeah, definitely. We got the big hitters there. Fowler in second place, so he is fighting. So he is massive points ahead, or massive positions ahead of.
Well, 2 and 3 are the front row basically for the AMS Championship. So this one is going to get pretty heated here indeed. And these two want to stay out in front as much as they can. It's time to go green, 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 and it's a big wheel spin start for Fowler in 2nd place. Simon getting a great start. You can see all the pros immediately swarming out to 3 wide, trying to get some advantage over the front 3 AMs as cones in the background go flying out there. You see Jens Goosens trying to hold it around the outside of that is Sorensen trying to push it up onto the inside into the Andretti hairpin. And yes, Sorensen does get it above there as Serrano around the outside, and Sorensen side by side as Serrano does get it. Fowler falls down to 3rd. Fowler falls down to 4th. 2 wide heading into this tight right-hander. Sorensen and Serrano side by side. AMs versus pros. The pros are bunched up. Oh my goodness, Hockenheim's happening all over again. They're 4 wide right there.
Yeah, a lot more busy here in the race number 2. These amateur drivers have all the pro drivers right behind them, trying to get past them, as we've seen in previous rounds. But we know from Goosens, he's really eager to mix it up with his pros, managing to get that
it's Moons and Fowler. Fowler and Moons. Moons and Fowler. Fowler is off the side of Moons. And Fowler's in the wall, and Lewandowski, I would say, puts up a little bit of a fist bump right there as one of his championship rivals has a bad start, and that happens. Ronald Moons and Fowler got it into the side. Gimantis gets turned around.
A little bit of contact there through the corkscrew, I believe. I wasn't sure who got into the back of him, but he's also got some massive front end damage to that 171 Mazda.
So it's always good to see that these race 2 are following trend here, and absolute carnage here on the first lap. We've had some big hitters go down. The biggest one, obviously, Fowler, fighting for that amateur championship overall, was fighting at the front of the field, got into a little bit of an incident there, and is finding himself down in P20. P20 for 7 positions behind Lewandowski, the one he's trying to get. So Lewandowski is actually going to gain points on Fowler there, who's currently sat in P20.
Yeah, but Serranio's up there, and ooh, fight at the front. Goosens and Sorensen in contact with each other as we've had a car turned around right there. That is Steve Cox stalled in the middle of the Andretti hairpin, and looks like there was a bit of bumping leading into that corner, and well, somebody's going to get the finger pointed at them, guaranteed. As Healy gets muscled off wide by Paval, and I think Paval might have been the one that turned around Yamantis right there. So Nathan Healy and Pavel Simonek, and Healy side checks Simonek right there.
That's
And Victor Lewandowski's in a crash. Lewandowski, no. Lewandowski and Andrew Brava in a crash, and Lewandowski is going to tow, and you know the book of things that we usually have before a race of, hey, this could happen in this race, and this is what happens when the leader gets crashed out and the championship rival crashes out. We just took that book, and yeah, it was Mullen. We need to take that book and throw it out the window. What is going on here?
Following trend is all I'm going to say to this is absolute carnage. It's just gone roles reversal again. Lewandowski gone back to the pits, which puts the advantage now on Fowler, but he needs to take this advantage. And McMullen gone into the pit lane, so Fowler managing to get up another position into P15th. He really needs to maximise his distance now over Lewandowski, because pretty much Lewandowski will be at the back there fighting for P18 overall in this race. But wow, I mean, how many things?
That car is absolutely wrecked. I'm sorry, wrecked right there. And you know, every car right back here has been involved in an incident. Moonscar's absolutely torn up. There's a little bit of damage on Fowler's car. Yeah, that rear end looks like it's been popped the trunk just a few times. Cox's car has been banged around. Hyrade's car has been banged around. The only clean car out there is Tony Pearman, and he got a pit lane start.
Well, maybe that was the way to go here, I would normally say, but most of the cars we've seen.
On the charges, Fowler. He's just trying to maximise his points now. He realises that he's been handed a gift here by, obviously, his incident in the first. Saw him down well below Lewandowski, and then unfortunately, a big round there. Steve Cox in who's that? That's Moons as well. He's been in the battles. This one, that front bumper does not want to give up though. That is hanging on for dear life at the moment.
I don't know what that front bumper is hanging on, what's keeping that front bumper on that car, but I want that holding up my shelves at home, because how is that thing staying attached to it?
But we're having a real big heated battle at the front here. Goosens over Serrano. Skinner not that far behind in third base with Paul Hayden. So these four managing to get away. So it seems to be the name of this round is 4 cars breaking off. But we have Ferrari just lurking there in the background.
A little bit of side checking right there. Sorensen and Skinner getting past Goosens. Goosens, you know, I feel like Jens doing the smart thing, letting the 3 pros past him and just going to stay with them. He's currently leading the AMS race right there. Serrano, championship hopeful, sitting in 8th place right there. Lewandowski down in 19th as, you know, the pros have somehow got through the AMS right there, but, you know, the chaos is happening between positions 8th all the way down to 17th. And you can see that they're peppered all the way through the field of incidents and spare parts being used right now. Let's take a look at our track map. And you can see the train from 1st all the way to 10th. And then it's a lot of mini trains happening behind him. As that's a wide line by Ferrari.
He's real lucky on that. Very lucky he did not completely blow that corner. I thought for sure he was going to be in the wall.
Ferrari took a lot of turn angle right there. That car was sideways heading down the corkscrew. Surprised that thing is still pointed straight forward, but Roberto Ferrari one of the fastest Mazda drivers on the entire service. I shouldn't be surprised by anything he does after this point, because, you know, he can just make that Mazda do some crazy things.
He could probably do a lot in that Mazda that a lot of other people can't do in a lot faster cars. You know, he's got that nailed down and dialed down to a T, that driving this Mazda, and currently still in that 5th place, but how he managed to save that, only Ferrari knows how he managed to do that. But one of the ones making him field is Fowler. He's managed to make his way up to 12th place at the moment, so trying to make his way through the field quite nicely at the moment. Obviously got Germantus just in front of him, very damaged front end that we see there of Germantus, and just trying to take him on the outside here of turn number 1. So can he get it done, or he just needs to be careful, Russ. You need the points, but don't risk it all on one ambitious pass, but all over the back of Germantus at the moment.
Yeah, Germantus has that broken front bumper. That's going to be hurting his top speed just a little bit more. iRacing does have damage physics with a part of your car does drag against the ground. It does slow you down, just like when you run over a cone and it gets stuck under your car for an entire 24-hour Le Mans race. You do feel that after a while. Big send by Fowler on Germantus for 11th place. And Fowler does get that position right there, up until 11th and more points in his pocket. I noticed something on Ferrari's car that I haven't noticed throughout this entire season. Can we go back to Ferrari's car and maybe look at Hayden's car, looking back at Ferrari's? There is something on his front hood. I think that's a cat.
We shall see very shortly. Yes, it is.
Yes, it is.
Good spot there, mate. Good spot.
It's never been on his car until this round. As Ferrari, quick as a kitty right there, down onto the inside. He gets a great run on Hayden right here. Ferrari looking for 3rd place. Big set heading into the Andretti hairpin. Hayden trying to close the door right there, leaving the space for Ferrari though, like he should, but runs out a little bit wide as Musumeci gets past him. As Ferrari, Musumeci, the pro drive cars, getting up there in a 3 and 4. They're going for another round victory.
We've got a reverse grid of 8th position is the reverse grid, so currently occupied by Pinocchio there. Sat in 8th. Goosen's dropped down the order quite significantly there, currently in P7, so I'm not sure if he's still on the back, but we're just watching the battle at the moment with Hayden. Goosens is still there, just on the background, so any issues between these pro drivers up front, and they are battling hard. I mean, Simonette can push that wide. He manages to save it, but that is going to get Goosens right on the back, and he may actually try to take him here up into the corkscrew.
Yeah, Goose is a Simonette known to get the elbows out for an overtake right there. Goose is leaving the room, but does the room give it back to him? Yes, it does. Simonette, though, holds it around the outside and gets up into 6th place right there, but Simonette has been off the track multiple times today, and has been very aggressive throughout the day as well. Pinocchio behind Goose is trying to hold it around the outside, heading into the final corner. It's not going to be given to him very easily. He's going to have to earn it. Jens, known to love a good race right there. He doesn't care which class you're in, pro or am. He's going to race you hard no matter what.
Yeah, but obviously being around with 2 of the fast drivers in the pros at the moment, Simonette and Pinocchio, so he's going to have a hard day at the office trying to maximise his position. But at the moment, he's still got that winning position in the AM race overall, the AM standards in P8, so could be 2 from 2 here from Goosens.
Let's ride on board of Roberto Ferrari behind our 2 race leaders, Sorensen and Skinner. Sorensen going all the way to the inside of the track, getting onto the grass. Well, the dirt, really. It's not grass for most of the year until it's springtime. But, he's getting off into the dirt, using all the track to his advantage. Ferrari looks down the inside, sells a fake, heading into the kink. You'd never want to send a move into here unless you have a death wish. And Ferrari's going to try to make Skinner think that way. He gets a great run right here. He's looking onto the inside, now trying on for the outside line, heading into the corkscrew. They're both defending onto the inside. It's in two cars heading into the corkscrew. Roberto Ferrari calls their bluff, swings around the outside, and it's a multi-car incident off the ace of the corkscrew. Simnek involved as well. He gets another shot by the 189. Goosens get involved, and Thomas Sorensen goes from the top of the leaderboard all the way down to the bottom with a toe. Oh my gosh.
I mean, the biggest winner out of that was Goosens just managing to sneak past Simonek and Pinocchio to take that 5th place again. But, I mean, carnage here with only 3 minutes left. I don't think Sorensen will be
Paul Hayden, I would say, has the biggest loser on that, because he was racing clean as these two goes off. Then watch Paul Hayden slam into the back of the 110 right there.
Then Simonek, managing to... Simonek and Pinocchio just managing to avoid a massive
light tap.
Goosens is obviously profiting. He's up to 4th place at the moment as Goosens, our amateur driver. He just gives no respect to these pro drivers around it and says, whatever you can do, I can do better. And yeah, he's definitely hitting out of his skin for the last couple of rounds as Goosens currently up in 4th place. And this will be valuable points. And it's just a pity is a couple of poor rounds within the championship has not had him up there. If he had had the same form in these last 4 rounds that he had at the start of the season, he would probably be up there in the lead in the amateur championship. But you know, a great show, and all respect for him, and readiness for the next season of the Mazda Cup, whenever that may be.
Yeah, next season of Mazda is going to be insane. You know, we don't do seasons back-to-back. We switch over to the sister series of the ARL Formula V series, which signups are open right now on the Apex Racing League website. Link is in the description. But after that, I would say the Mazda series comes back, right?
It will indeed. Be probably early in the new year, which it depends if the Formula V goes ahead. Obviously, the sign-ups are not the best at the moment, so we may end up having another Mazda Cup, but we'll see. Plan for a Formula V season. Like Austin said, go over to apexracingleague.com and sign up if you fancy driving the V round with these crazy guys on track.
Crazy guys and girls as well. Fowler gets into contact with Nathan Healy. That's 2 AMs making contact with each other. There goes the Amantis swinging on by Fowler. I thought Fowler was going to try to reverse it into the pit lane right there. I want to get him disqualified, but that's a lot of damage on that car, and I feel like he's got suspension damage as well. And the reason why I'm excited, he's got going again. No suspension damage I can see, but you know, while we were looking at that replay, Walsh and Cox had a incident as well, and that's really messed up the amateur order. And I do know that some of these teams are racing for charity right now. If they get a top 5, and that driver is Pan Hyrate in 13th place, and if they get a top 5 in class, if any Lead Paul Racing gets a top 5, they'll be donating $10 to Team C's. They're currently sitting in 6th.
Is it them or is it you that's donating? I don't know.
I donate on behalf of them as a team.
Being the illustrious team leader that you are. Wasn't you in this championship, mate, at one point?
Yes, I was. And then we had a commentator run away, and, you know, I jumped ship. And by jump ship, I mean I was forcibly dragged into this role.
Yeah. So, DJ, obviously, this is your first ARL commentating, very first one on the Mazda. I mean, what do you make of this league?
It's exactly what you expect out of a good Mazda league. A little bit of insanity, a little bit of argy-bargy, and you never know exactly what's going to come your way. It's fantastic.
Oh, and Walsh just went into the pit lane right before the finish line, and we just hit the end of this race, and both of us caught it.
I don't know if he got a drive-through. Did he get a drive-through? Obviously, they do have an
already
incident
a lap
level.
Down.
They do have an incident level of 16 points, so if they reach the 16 points, then they basically got to do that reverse. They got to drive through the pit lane, but obviously in the last lap you can't do that. So maybe we see if he did have that, then he might lose some more positions. But already down there at the back.
Really, that is one wrecked car.
Yeah, these bumpers don't want to give up on this race, but obviously your reverse grid pole for race number 3 will be Serrano, the Am driver there in there, and Goossens will be in the top of the grid as well. So great day for them too.
And Lewandowski, another 15th finish, but this time his gap to Fowler is 4 cars, but also he's battling Serrano again. And I believe Simon now has the 2nd place in the AMS Championship.
Be close, certainly will be close on that. I don't know what is, I'll try and work it out where we're at on that.
So DJ, are you trying to do math inside your head like me and Andy are?
Yeah, I am, and it's not going well. There's a reason why I'm doing commentary and not physics for a profession.
Well, here's our race 2 results. DJ, I'll let you take care of them.
Well, you can see there, Roberto Ferrari able to take the win ahead of his teammate, Federico Musumeci. There, moving down the order, Dan Skinner came in 3rd, followed by Paolo Semenchik with Goossens in 5th. Pinocchio was in 6th, followed by Hayden and Serrano, with Yomantis coming in 9 and Nathan Healy rounding out your top 10. Russ Fowler was 11th, followed by Damian McMullen. Tony Pierman was 13th, I know how to talk, followed by Hydre in 14th. Lewandowski was 15th, followed by Frederick and Sorensen. Brahma was in 18th, with Walsh, Cox, and Moons rounding out your field.
I can confirm probably that Serrano will currently occupy that 2nd place overall in the Amateur Championship over Russ Fowler, so it's going to be a battle in this last round. I'm not worked out how many points Lewandowski has got, but his drop score and his drop round is a P6, so I think he'll be taking that rather than currently where he's sat at the moment in probably 15th place or down the lower end of the amateurs. So it's going to be all hot in the front of the Amateur Championship, trying to see who comes out, and it all comes down to this last race.
It will all come down to this last race for the Amateur Championship here in the Apex Racing League Mazda Cup here at Laguna Seca. We'll be right back for the start of race number 3 after these messages.
Virtual Racing School was developed to provide support to the next generation of sim racers. No matter if you're a rookie or veteran or what car or track you'll be racing, our goal is to provide training every step of the way. We found that iRacing can be quite difficult without proper training. There needed to be a way to prepare for on-track racing. With VRS, you can literally learn from the best sim racers in the world, including 4-time NASCAR iRacing World Champion Real Falla.
And Real Falla is a 4-time champion of the NASCAR Peak Antifreeze iRacing Series.
3-time iRacing Grand Prix World Champion Martin Kroenke.
Martin Kroenke becomes a 3-time world champion.
Rallycross World Champion Mitchell de Jong.
Mitchell de Jong is now champion for the iRacing Rallycross World Championship Series.
And many other top sim racers. Data packs include everything you need to start learning. Our World Championship coaches create the data packs by setting a hot lap or a series of fast laps for you to compare, analyze, and replicate. Data packs also include a tutorial where the coach points out techniques they use to hit the fast lap. This gives you access to the latest driving techniques and setups before you even hit the track. Sign up for a free account and download the VRS telemetry logger. With this application running seamlessly in the background, your laps automatically start syncing to the VRS website. From there, you can analyze and compare 2 laps of your choice, whether it's your data, the coaches, or your teammates. VRS will automatically target improvement opportunities so you can get up to speed even faster. VRS also makes it easy for you to request and schedule one-on-one or group coaching sessions. These sessions can range from 30 to 90 minutes, and you can select the car, track, and setup combination of your choice. Visit virtualracingschool.com today to sign up and get started.
And we're back here at WeatherTech Raceway Laguna Seca for the final round and the final race of the Apex Racing League Mazda Cup. And Andy, I believe you have a points update situation for us regarding a certain amateur championship.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be down to this last race. If Lewandowski has a terrible round like he has been doing, then this will be his drop round. He has a P6 for a drop round score, but Russ Fowler and Simeon Serrano have switched places at the moment. Serrano has managed to take second place in the championship overall, closing that gap on Lewandowski, and Russ Fowler right behind Simeon Serrano there. So it's them three at the top. I think it's going to be a last race tussle to see who manages to come out top in this amateur championship. Great viewing, great championship, and it's fitting it comes down to the last race of the season.
It definitely is, and you know, what could get better than a last race championship decider, DJ?
Oh no, it really can't get any better than that. It's what you hope for when you sign up to watch an entire series. Between those three drivers, it is going to be absolutely fantastic to see. I can only imagine the action and potential carnage that we're about to witness.
Simon Serrano currently sitting in second place in the amateur championship. Will be starting up on pole with Paul Hayden right behind him, followed by Pinocchio Jens Goosens, the AM driver who loves to battle it out with the pros, will be starting in fourth, followed by Simonak, Skinner, Musumeci, and Ferrari. Yomantis in ninth place, Nathan Healy and Russ Fowler. The third place driver in the AMS championship, trying to get a better race as Serrano to get that second place and take back that lead. They're followed by David Mullen, Tony Pierman, Pan Hyraid, and Victor Lewandowski. The amateur championship leader looking for a better race than, well, his previous two. We're all going to find out who's going to be on top of the amateur standings and who's going to end out on top of the final race of the Apex Racing League Mazda Cup season as we go green, green, green for one last time here at Laguna Seca.
Yeah, Serrano there got an excellent start. Needs to try and keep his nose out front to try and call about the points over Lewandowski. But if he stays where he's at, but he's got a load of pros behind him. Paul Hayden imagined to take him on the outside, but Serrano managing to keep that first position. Paul Hayden putting him a lot of pressure. Simonek and Hayden side by side coming up there, pushing out Serrano out to the wide, and he loses 2 places there to Hayden and Pinocchio, and Simonek just manages to nick that inside. So there's 3 places lost in one corner, and possibly even 4. Oh, big crash behind! Big crash behind. It was that
Ferrari's involved, and it's a big hit. Yeah. Nathan Healy into the side of the 173. Lewandowski gets his prayers answered up into 11th, but Enrico Musumeci beached literally. That car has no wheels as he sits there in the gravel.
And that's both teammates out there, Ferrari and Musumeci. I think Ferrari's able to keep going. Let's go back and check out this replay. It looked like going through the right-hander there, just a little bit of contact.
Just an early turn in. Musumeci was on his inside, the 173 turn. What the heck happened to Ferrari's car?
That's a new one.
Yeah.
Well, iRacing introduced the breakdancing model, I guess. That was odd.
No.
No, I'm jealous of that move.
Yeah, Goosen's obviously profited a lot out of that, as well as managed to make his way up to 4th place. And Serrano is coming back into the clutches of Fowler. There's still a bit of a distance between the two drivers, 4 places. But Serrano, who was your pole sitter for this race number 3, had a terrible first lap and has found his way down into 6th place at the moment. So Serrano, where he was sitting pretty at the 1 lap previously on the front of the grid, is now in 6th place and trying to get into the clutches of Fowler. So Fowler will see that and will be pushing to the utmost limits to try and get that car up behind.
He's
Serrano.
Playing it safe. He's playing it smart. We saw what happened in race number 2, all that carnage of all the pros getting around him and crashing around him. So what he's decided to do is, you know, if there's a pro behind me, I'm just going to let them by if I know that they're faster. And that's what he did on lap 1. He didn't really fight anyone tooth and nail after all that contact. We saw what happened right there. And that really shuffled up the field. Skinner, Musumeci, and Ferrari are, well, in the pits. Skinner's back out there. Just got out of the pits, and he's coming out of the pits right there. But Musumeci and Ferrari, they had a tow into the pit lane. And, you know, these points are scored overall by position. And that's great news for Victor Lewandowski, Fowler, and Serrano, because they'll be scoring more points than they usually do with those two ahead of them, as this is Simonek and Hayden going side by side. Hayden's already had a little bit of rough and tumble race today. We saw him get side check onto Musa Mechie, and Sivanek giving a side check onto Hayden, and Hayden, you know, he won't be thinking that's a great move right there, but great save right there. Hey, Yerzan's Goose is going to try and take 4th place.
That was a great save. I mean, you could only see him going one way, which was spinning, and managing to save the car there rather expertly, I must admit, to try and keep him. So only lost 2 places out of that. Could have been a lot worse for him as we watch Sorensen trying to make a move on Serrano here. So then it will be an out battle between himself and McMullen behind for that 2nd place in the Amateur Championship in his final race of the season. But Sorensen managing to take Serrano there in 7th place. So it's an amateur battle for a second. Yeah, he's just come out of the pits, isn't he?
Yeah, and McMullen was in that 4th spot in the championship. We saw McMullen have that rough 2nd race. So I believe, you know, he's just trying to get as many points to try to tighten up that championship fight. But I do not believe McMullen has Tony Pierman. Well, there's me laughing in the broadcast. Was way off track right there. Sends it down to the inside on Russ Fowler. And there is Tony back up there. And there's Russ Fowler just sitting behind him, as that's Musa Mechie. The car actually separated Pierman and Fowler. Musa Mechie just came out of the pit lane. And Musa Mechie going to try to do an overtake on Tony Pierman right now when being lapped? No, he thought about it, and then he realized...
I'm a lap down. Let's not race.
I'm a lap down. Let's not cause some chaos.
Not in the final race of the season.
You know, if I was Victor Lewandowski, I would wish you were, because look who's right behind him, Victor Lewandowski.
Well, I think Fowler's hoping he holds him up, but I don't think that's going to happen.
Yeah, we know the pace of Musa Mechie, race number 1 winner, and, you know, can easily get that speed, as Steve Cox almost misses the braking point getting into Victor Lewandowski on the final corner. That would have not been pretty, but Russ Fowler getting into the trap to Tony Pierman. He needs to get as much space between him and Lewandowski. Currently 2 spots separate them, and he's going to try to go way around the outside of the Andretti hairpin. He's going to go a little bit wide, almost gets side-checked right there by Moons. And Moon's able to sneak his way down to the inside on Fowler, but Fowler's got that inside line now, side by side. That is tight between these two. It's classic Mazda racing.
Yeah, stick a piece of paper in between the two. Fowler able to get the position away from Moons, and that battling is helping Lewandowski out to be able to pull up to the back of that little pack. Looks like there that he is going to be very, very happy about that. He has just got to hope now that that 117 does get out of the way and show the same courtesy that was given to the 2 drivers in front.
Yeah, Musa Mechie being a little bit of a wrench of the gear works right now, and we'll see if he lets everyone by heading into the corkscrew, or he just stays right there. I don't believe he's going to be showing any courtesy to Victor, as Victor's not on his bumper. So
I think Lewandowski here is just going to try to get in front of Fowler. It is going to be his drop round this one. So what he's trying to do is he's going to try to limit Fowler's points scoring ability in this race. So I think that's probably his aim in race number 3 here.
And don't forget about Serrano. Serrano in 7th place. He's going to be scoring the most points out of any of these drivers, and you know, that's going to be great. He's still looking for a few more spots ahead, as Sivanek and Pinocchio side by side, nose to tail. Pinocchio getting a little bit off track right there. These 2 guys are getting very wild. They want that final win of the season, because Ferrari and Musa Mechie are off track and out of contention.
Yeah, it's a story of Pinocchio's season as well. Same with last season, done really well. He had a few little mistakes that put paid to his championship, and it sort of happened again here in season 3. But forever the fast driver is Pinocchio, and it's always great entertaining watching him as well, because he will make them moves if he gets a little sniff of a space, and will try to put his car down there as a sledgehammer to get other cars. Often coming off the worst, but always great to watch with that Italian flair that he always brings to these championships. But these 2 were the main protagonists in Season 2 of the Mazda Cup. Unfortunately been overruled by Ferrari and Musumeci, who didn't join us last season, but still doing very well in this championship. It's always great to have the fast drivers here on ARL Mazda Cup, and we certainly have had that this season.
Yeah, the Italian powerhouse certainly arrived and took over this series. But it's always great having new drivers hop in here, and you know, the one thing you do, like, oh, I'm a rookie to this series, I'll take it easy. That wins the entire thing.
So
Yeah, exactly. Getting that. Go ahead.
No, you go ahead.
I was just going to say, it's amazing what that new blood can do to a series, just totally change up the order of it as we continue to watch there. Fowler trying to make a work or two on Pierman. McMullen and Serrano up ahead, though. They look like they're almost side by side.
Yeah, they were almost side by side. Russ Fowler. Oh, our leaders are side by side right here. Simnek and Pinocchio. Pinocchio around the outside. Simnek, you know, he's got his elbows out a few times, and, you know, they're going after the final race win of the year. These two are going to give it everything right now. The championship's pretty much decided for the pros, so this last race is just going to be all-in-out war in these final 5 minutes.
Yeah, just pure pride now to win the last round of the season, and obviously Simonek will see that it's Pinocchio behind it, which will make it all the sweeter between one of these drivers who comes out on top of this battle that we're watching for first place in this final race of the season here between these two drivers. So it's all the bragging rights, I think, between these two. Germantis just off the back there, we can see having his own little battle with Paul Hayden.
Serrano's had an issue. He's fallen down to 10th place. Simone is slow coming out of the corkscrew. There goes Lewandowski right behind. And the current second place driver in the AMS Championship has fallen behind the championship leader. And now he's going down to 3rd place in the AMS Championship ladder.
And moreover, it's Fowler in 9th place, is currently about 4 places.
And Lewandowski gets hit from behind.
Cox managing to sneak in front of Serrano. This could put pay to Serrano getting first in the championship, and it could see him go down to 3rd place overall. So absolute disastrous lap there from Serrano, bringing himself right down to 13th place. Oh no.
Oh, it was looking all good from Serrano. You know, he was looking on the outside end of the championship coming into this round. Heading into race number 2, oh, big crash. Pyramid Cox, we got a car upside down. That's Fowler. Fowler's involved. And that's David McMullen. Fowler's off. Lewandowski's back into the lead.
His wheel is gone. He's going to have to go back to the pits. This is disastrous.
This is absolutely crazy for the championship. Lewandowski must have found a 4-leaf clover in that 5-minute break, as he's now back into the lead. The champions, both his rivals, have had the worst luck in the last 2 laps.
Mate, there's such a topsy-turvy. I mean, you can never say what's going to happen here, and this final round is giving it all. I mean, Serrano was out front at the start, got swept up by the pros, come back to the clutches, and then just had a disastrous lap, seeing himself go behind his contenders, Fowler and Lewandowski. And then all of a sudden, Fowler has a mistake and is pretty much out this race, and now down in P18th in the pit, and has got a long wait to get towed back to that pit. So that's just handed the points back to Serrano. But with Lewandowski in front, it's going to be Lewandowski across.
It's handing the points back to Lewandowski as well, right ahead. Pinocchio and Simonek getting each other. Nobody wants to win this race. Nobody wants to win this championship. Everyone just wants to crash.
It's like I said, you know, you give that little sniff of space to Pinocchio and he will take it. And, you know, as we saw there, it's a little bit wide by Simonek going into that first corner, and Pinocchio just stuck it up that inside, saying, I'm having that position back. But Simonek will come back with a vengeance now, thinking, I'm not going to let you lose this in the last 3 minutes by an ambitious move into turn number 1. So we'll have the bit between his teeth.
You know what? I'm gonna go out on a limb. I think Hayden might win this race.
I've seen stranger things, mate, that's for sure. With these two battling as hard as they are and as close as they are, coming up to probably the worst corner in the field, to be this close to the car, it's everything's possible, mate.
Yeah, Simonek looked onto the inside right there for a brief second. He's still waiting for that opportunity to come back to repay the price to Pinocchio. As right behind him, Humantis and Hayden nose tail, as well as Sorensen and Moons are still trying to get past Jens Gusens, who is sitting in 5th place still. And this is the greatest performance I've seen by Jens Gusens. I wish they've had better luck throughout the season, because I would say if they kept this performance on throughout the entire season, Jens Gusens would be your championship leader at this point.
Yeah, 100%. I believe that Gusens come of form at the right time for him at the end of the season, but a little bit too late for a championship rival. But he has certainly put on a show in these final couple of rounds. Obviously, taking this will be 3 from Gusens, obviously from the first 2 races, winning that, and looking on course at the moment to win this 3rd one.
Can we talk about Steve Cox? He's sitting 2nd place in the AMS Championship, which I believe would be his highest class position ever. Steve, I think his best highest is about 3rd, I believe. So this would be a better position than he's ever done in the AMS race, and sitting in the top 10 too. And he's up 14 spots, 12 spots from where he started. Ronald Moons is up 14, and Victor Lewandowski is right behind him. Lewandowski wants to get around him and get more points and get this race up to a better points-paying position, so he doesn't have to drop score it, because the drop score takes your lowest round, and with that drop score already in, the old one does count, so that always throws the points up into the wazoo.
Yeah, I mean, talking about Cox, he is probably I think he's the one that's enjoyed this season the most. I think he's already whispered me and put it in the Discord chat of when's the next season. I want to know, can I pre-sign up now? I really want to be in it. So, there's one driver that's thoroughly enjoyed this season, and many more probably have.
Absolutely. I've had a fair share of conversations with him after Okayama was the first time that we've actually talked. But, when I hopped into the box, we've had a lot of conversation with each other as Tony Pierman after being lapped, just lets everyone by. But Steve Cox, just a wonderful guy to talk to.
Yeah, definitely. But these two at the front, obviously having a real big ding dong. I don't know if that was a white flag lap as well.
This is the white flag lap. Oh my goodness! Big slide right there after a curb strike that Travis Pastrana would be proud of right there. Got some massive airtime.
I'm not sure how he held on to that car, but Simonek able to hold it on. I fear, though, that may have squandered any sort of battle we see or any aggressive move from Simonek going down into the corkscrew in the final stages of this race.
Tell you what, DJ, we're going to give the final going over the lap to you, mate.
Oh boy, oh boy. Well, we continue to watch Pinocchio here climb the hill for one last time. That is Simonek behind him, Yomantis in 3rd, about 2.5 seconds off of this battle. Pilots it down through the corkscrew, that wonderful plunging curve, brings it around through Rainy Curve right now. Only a couple more corners to go here for Pinocchio for him to be able to spray the champagne in this 3rd and final race today.
Oh, he goes wide in the final corner!
Oh my goodness, both drivers making a mistake, but I don't think that's going to be enough to cost Pinocchio, and indeed, there he goes out of the final corner, and the run to the line, it is going to be Ivan Pinocchio taking the win.
Pinocchio, hard-fought win right there. Final corner, our hearts were in the mouth right there. Jens Gusens comes up and takes the amateur victory, and in the final moments of that lap, Lewandowski is overtaking Cox for 2nd place right there.
And Hayden took the finishing flag in the pit lane as well. So there we go. There we go, just to run it in.
Now I believe we're going to be seeing a ARL, a demolition derby right now. As it's the end of the season. You don't need these cars for any more rounds. The damage doesn't carry over anyway. But I feel like all these drivers want to let out their frustrations. And Victor Lewandowski, I think, stop me if I'm getting ahead of myself, is your amateur championship winner.
What I'll do is I'll let you take some of the interviews that we have, Austin, and I'll do the points to confirm or deny the final positions, barring any penalties in this race.
Barring penalties, frustrations, slapping that might happen in the Discord. Everything could go on right here. Roberto Ferrari is your Le Champion of the ARL Pro Series. Dominated. He entered this race as Le Champion, and this race, race 1 and 2 really put down some more points. He doesn't care what race 3 did. He's having a great time. He's drifting down the front straightaway, trying not to crash it right there. But Roberto Ferrari is, without a doubt, your Le Champion, as long with your team championship of Pro Drive Esports, dominating the series in that first spot. As DJ has our race 3 results, as Andy is furiously trying to calculate points.
I do indeed. As you saw across the line, Ivan Pinocchio able to take that first place position. Semantic behind him, and Jamantis rounding out your podium. Paul Hayden was in P4, followed by Thomas Sorensen, with Jens Goosens taking that AM class victory, and Ronald Moons coming in behind him in 7th. Victor Lewandowski was in 8th. We think that makes him champion, but Andy is checking that out right now. Steve Cox pipped at the line in P9, and Simone Siriano in 10th place. Yves Frederick was 11th, followed by Panhydra, with Andrew Brahma in 13th and Jay Walsh in 14th. Dan Skinner was 15th, followed by Healy and Ferrari, with Fowler 18th, McMullen 19th, and Mashemi and Pierman rounding out your finishing order.
Just saving the points here. It's like a drum roll now.
I just realized I was so excited I bumped my microphone and muted myself.
I was wondering why you were quite silent. It's normally hard to get you to be quiet, but yeah, I thought there'd be some reason behind it, mate.
Yeah, Andy, you're just waiting here for the drum roll of the results. I'm here just yapping into your muted microphone. DJ's just sitting here for his first time. DJ, well, I don't know if it's just like the luck of the new guy in the booth, but you kind of been thrown into the deep end here.
I'll take it as luck to be able to come in on 3 races like that. And, you know, I don't know what's so much as me causing it as it is just the fantastic nature of Laguna Seca. This is, as I said at the beginning, one of the best tracks in the world to drive. Absolutely great, absolutely crazy out on track. You gotta love every minute of it.
I have your provisional standings in the pros and the amateur, and they are as follows. So Roberto Ferrari, as we said, was champion of the Pro Series, a massive 155 points ahead of second place. Enrico Musumeci, his teammate there, in second place on 1,470. In third place was Paweł Simonek, 232 behind the leader. I mean, that just shows the dominance there of Roberto Ferrari in that pro standards. In the
Andy, before we go to the AM, I want this to be suspenseful. Can we go from 4th up to the champion?
So
for the AMs.
In 4th place of the amateur championship is Damien McMullen on 1,171 points. In 3rd place was Russ Fowler on 1,187. In 2nd place was Simeon Serrano, so just managing to keep that 2nd place there on 1,192. So if Russ Fowler hadn't have crashed out there, he would have taken that 2nd place. And your amateur overall winner is Victor Lewandowski on 1,223, 30 points ahead of Simeon Serrano there in 2nd place. So absolutely crazy last round in the Mazda for the Amateur Championship, but your winner is Victor Lewandowski.
And we have Victor in the comms booth to hear that. Victor, you are the amateur champion for the Apex Racing League Mazda Cup. How are you feeling after that?
Oh, hey guys. Well, like, to be honest, first of all, I'm super happy that this season is finished, because, you know, like, when you are first in points, like, for me at least, I wanted it to end as soon as possible, you know, so I keep my first place. But yeah, I mean, when I started the season, before I started, like a few days before I joined, I was thinking, well, like, I feel pretty confident I can be at least top 3. But then after first and second race, I was like, wow. I mean, competition is so good, you know, like I guess at least half of people in amateur championship can be, I don't know, like easily be in top 3. It was, yeah, it was very intense for me.
It was very intense in the final rounds, as well as everything is seeming to go against you. And in this final race, like the race number 1 and 2 just didn't go your way. What was your mindset heading into that final round?
Well, yeah, like, I don't. In general, I mean, I knew I had some good leading points, and unless someone does some magic, I will probably win the championship. But so yeah, I wanted to just relax and stay a bit behind, maybe, you know. I mean, of course, I didn't want to crash in first and second race, but yeah, I mean, I was taking it, you know, like how Formula One drivers say, like, we take every race as a single race, you know, not the whole championship. But for me, to be honest, I don't know, it didn't work. I mean, I was thinking about the championship from the middle of the championship, you know, like I was in first position, so I had to plan for it. Yeah, so here I was just going to drive, you know, don't touch anyone, because if you get penalties, you can get, like, I don't know, 25 points. So for me, it would be, you know, pretty big disadvantage. But yeah, I mean, at least third race was good. Yeah.
Yeah, third race was the one that really cemented that deal. Thank you, Victor, for stopping by, and congrats on the championship. Before we let you go and celebrate, anyone you want to thank?
Well, yeah, to thank my wife. Actually, she encouraged me to join this season. I wanted to skip it, but yeah, she told me, hey, why not? Like, you're paying for iRacing anyway. So yeah, and then I don't know, just Trustmaster and Fanatic for making great gear. I mean, they don't support me, like, but still, I mean, it never failed me, so it's good, it works. And yeah, and you guys, of course. I mean, it's I'd say this experience, it's so much better for me than official iRacing races. I mean, here, I don't know, it feels like a real, you know, real competition, real championship. It's so great. Yeah, thank you for that.
And thank you for being an awesome driver and putting on a great show out there. Congrats on the championship once again, Victor.
Yeah, thank you.
As Andy, we have 3 more drivers lined up for us. Who do you want?
Let's go with Damien. So let's pull Damien up here into the commentary box. Welcome to the box, Damien.
You saved me a bit of hassle there in the driver's brief room there, so.
Well, I mean, probably not what you expected out of the last race, but as always, you are the cheerful Irishman in the field, finishing overall provisionally at the moment, barring any penalties, in 4th place.
Yeah.
Only just behind Russ Fowler there in 3rd place, but I mean, it's always great to have you in the championship. You are the happy-go-lucky Irishman in the championship, and how has this season been for you, mate?
I really enjoyed it and everything, but unfortunately with this last round, it was just like listening to or driving into British touring cars when the race 1, 2, and 3. It's like everyone has elbows out, but unfortunately, that's the way it goes. Unfortunately, sometimes for me myself.
I know, but hopefully it hasn't put paid to your experience again in this championship. What's been the highlights for you overall within Season 3 of the ARL Mazda Cup?
Just enjoyed the whole of that. It's just very competitive this time, because Season 1 and Season 2 was really enjoyable, but for Season 3, yeah, really tight and everything. And well done to Victor. What an unbelievable drive from all season. So congratulate to him anyway, and well done.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, obviously, as you mentioned there, the bar for the amateur championship has certainly been raised every single season. So I'm looking forward to Season 4 to seeing that bar raised even more. And I mean, I think the gap between the pros and the AMs has certainly narrowed within the races, as we see a lot of the AMs mixing up with the pros. Is that how you're feeling out on track?
Yeah, it's literally starting to get better, and literally everyone's enjoying themselves. And the pace of the pro-ams in the last 5 rounds has literally been great, and it's just given the pro-ams a bit of a waking up. Oh, sorry, pros I meant to say, sorry.
Yeah, there's certainly only the pros and the cons, mate, there. But no, I mean, it's great to have you back here in Season 3 of the ARL Mazda Cup. Hopefully we'll see you again in the Season 4, Damien. But before we let you go, mate, is anybody you'd like to give a shout-out to?
I just want to say thank you to all of you and to all my sponsors, and just want to wish all of you a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. And I can't wait because my holiday's starting in 3 days. I'm off to America for a few weeks, so yeah, I'm going to get a good break.
Yeah, okay, you don't need to rub that in. Okay.
I know. I'm going skiing as well, so I don't mind that either.
Anyway, and there we're just going to say goodbye to you, Damien.
Thanks, see you there. Thanks very much again.
Yeah, mate.
Work.
No, great, thanks, man.
Bye-bye.
So there's Damien, our energetic Irishman there, that's been with us since Season 1. Has always enjoyed racing in this tournament or in this season with the ARL Mazda Cup, Austin, and always great to have the characters back.
It is always great to have our usual suspects back here and always having a great time. Great to hear from Damien right there. And DJ, are you comfortable with doing one last interview?
Let's do it.
All right, Dan Skinner is standing by with you.
Well, Dan, good to talk to you here after 3 races of what I think could most lovingly be called insanity. But how was it for you behind the sim?
Hey guys, first 2 races weren't too bad, to be honest. Last race was a complete nightmare for me. I'm not sure who it was. I think it was Simone Serrano. Looked like he jumped on the brakes a little bit early, turning into turn 3, and I went to the right, not realizing that Enrico was right next to me, and a little bit of a swerve ended up causing a load of carnage. So apologies to those guys. But first 2 races were pretty good, pretty uneventful, other than a slight coming together with Thomas Sorensen in the second race. We both looked at that, and we concluded it was 6 of one, half a dozen of the other.
We'll love to hear that communication in between drivers like that with incidents like that, and I do agree with the both of you on that one. But I'm curious, in prepping for a track like Laguna Seca, where overtaking is normally at a little bit of a premium and you tend to sort of think about it in that way, does it change your prep at all, or is it's still pretty just straightforward and you're doing what you're doing week in and week out?
Yeah, look, I think you just have to be quick. The prepping for overtakes or anything, you have to know where the overtake positions are. Corners that are better for it. But at the end of the day, every race is going to be different, isn't it? And you've got to judge it as it comes. If there's a time to shove it up the inside, then that's what you've got to do. But it's a hard track to follow closely. A few corners that's quite blind if you're right on the bumper of somebody, and you have to kind of be on the bumper to line up an overtake. So just go with it, don't you?
Well, most excellent. Obviously, this is the end of the season. Looking on to obviously the skip season of running the Formula V's next time up. But can we hope to see you back for the next time we run these MX-5s, and any tracks you're secretly hoping that may find their way on the calendar?
Oh, yeah, most definitely. This has been my first league, and I have to say, I've really, really enjoyed it. I think you guys put on an excellent show. There's generally a lot of, good driving, good sportsmanship amongst people. There's bound to be a few tempers every now and again, but that's fine. But no, I've really, really enjoyed it, and I'm sure we'll be back and hopefully be a bit further up the field. We managed to have a good first season, but maybe climb the ladder a little bit. I don't know where I've ended up in this championship. I was hoping I could try and get 4th, but I think 5th or maybe 6th. The last race might have killed it.
P5 down, P5 overall.
Yeah, I might get a penalty for that last race, but it's been really good. Really, really enjoyed it, guys.
Well, we're always happy to see you here, Dan, and be able to provide series like this. Before we let you go, anybody you'd like to thank for today and for the entire season?
Just my rear gunner, Mr. Hayden, a fellow old-timer. He's helped me out a couple of times. Tony's joined us halfway through the season, and we're we're putting on a show for the old boys, and let's enjoy a bit of sim racing. So I've enjoyed racing with those guys. They've helped me with prep, we've all helped each other really with prep. But yeah, big shout out to those guys.
Well, thank you very much, Dan. That was Dan Skinner, your 5th place overall in the Pro Drivers this season.
Yeah, thank you everyone for joining us here on the broadcast. Congrats to our champions, Victor Lewandowski, Roberto Ferrari, the Pro Drive Esports team. Our 3 champions, team winner, Pro Drive, Pro, Roberto Ferrari, and the AMS Championship winner, Victor Lewandowski. And I gotta say, the greatest winner out of all is all of us viewers watching and just enjoy. I think you, Andy, Samuli, DJ, and I had the best job and the best season of all. We got to watch all of this happen.
I mean, excellent. Yeah, I mean, I'm gutted that it's finished, but to have been involved in the full 9 races with the 3 races within the rounds, it has been amazing and completely lived up to expectations. We've had the absolute carnage, we've had the sublime passes, we've had the crazy passes from Roberto Ferrari down in, I think it was Bathurst, that he did a crazy pass. But I think this championship has certainly had it all Austin, and I'm a bit gutted it's finished, but onwards and upwards, and I'm looking forward already to season 4.
Yeah, season 4, we're going to have a little bit of an off-season break. Some of these drivers might make an appearance in another ARL league. Remember, sign us for the ARL V series is up and ready to go. If y'all want to hop and race within one of the most competitive cars in iRacing, one of the most fun cars to drive. Just like the Mazdas, the V Championship could get pretty wild at times. Season 1 was pretty insane, and I'm excited for that one again. Thank you all for joining us here on Apex Racing TV for the finale of the Apex Racing League Mazda Cup. I've been joined by Andy Thompson, DJ Clark, Samuli Kumo in the production booth, and I'm Austin Knight, and I hope y'all have a good night.